So the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro have launched amidst a global pandemic and a nationwide lockdown. What this means is that since the launch of the OnePlus 2, this is the first time around that I haven't had a chance to review the latest flagship from the OnePlus stables. Having said that, that's not important at the moment. What's important is for us to stay home and stay safe. Also, the folks over at OnePlus were kind enough to give out details in the form of a reviewer's guide, so we know all the details of the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro. While this is not the same as using the phone in real life, it is enough for us to give you guys an idea of what the OnePlus 8 and the 8 Pro could actually feel like when you buy the phone. Well, I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone, and in this video we're going to take a look at all the details of the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro, and in due process might even get all your questions answered as well. Alright, so before we move on, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever Mr. Phone puts out an awesome new tech video. Also, we're going to be doing a lot of Instagram lives during this lockdown period, so don't forget to go and check out our Instagram page. Also, don't forget to actually go and check out a Telegram community as well in case you are a tech nerd and would like to have similar conversations with like-minded people as well. Generally, what reviewers get is a reviewer's edition box. This box, apart from the retail box of the OnePlus phone itself, comes with a couple of extra goodies as well. This time around, there would have been a couple of extra cases along with the reviewer's guide as well. Now, the retail box itself should include the phone along with the screen protector installed on it, the 30-watt charging warp charge adapter, a USB Type-C to Type-C cable, and maybe a clear case as well. I'm not so sure of that. Now, if you can recollect, with the OnePlus 7T, OnePlus had changed the design language of the box itself. It's now this stark red with extremely large lettering. This time around, you've got the number 8 on the box itself. I quite like this design language. It's risky, it's bold, it's a fresh new approach. I quite like it, but quite a few people seem to not like it, but I still prefer this. As for the design of the phones, let's start off with the colors that are available on the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro. The OnePlus 8 actually comes in 3 colors, which is the Onyx Black, the Interstellar Glow, which I call the Instagram edition, and the Glacier Green. The Glacier Green is by far my favorite colorway in 2020, and this is the only option that comes with a matte finish. The rest come with a glossy finish. And on the OnePlus 8 Pro also you get 3 color options, but the Interstellar Glow color variant has been replaced by an ultramarine blue one. Now, the similarities with respect to the design of both these phones is that both these phones come with a curved 3D Corning Gorilla Glass solution on the front and the back. At the bottom edge you get a Type-C port, a speaker grill, and the dual nano SIM card tray on both the phones. Now, the Type-C port is of the USB 3.1 Gen 1 variety, and on the right edge, on the right spine, you get the power button and the alert slider, and the left spine has the volume rocker on both the phones. Now, unlike the OnePlus 7T, which came with a circular camera cutout, the OnePlus 8 goes back to the vertical strip design. So there are 3 cameras on the vertical strip. Whereas on the OnePlus 8 Pro, there is a similar 3-camera vertical strip, but there is an extra camera to its left. Plus, you also get a line of dual LED flash and autofocus as well. As for the dimensions itself, the OnePlus 8 is a smidgen thinner than the OnePlus 7T. It's at 8mm compared to the 8.1mm thickness of the OnePlus 7T. Plus, most importantly, it's 10 grams lighter than the OnePlus 7T at 180 grams. However, what surprised me are the dimensions of the OnePlus 8 Pro. I'll tell you why. Because despite using 5G and Snapdragon 865, which was supposed to make phones chunkier, the OnePlus 8 Pro actually is slimmer than the OnePlus 7T Pro. It is at 8.5mm thickness compared to the 8.8mm thickness of the OnePlus 7T Pro. Also, most importantly, the OnePlus 8 Pro is just 190 grams compared to the 206 grams of the OnePlus 7T Pro, which makes it lighter and slimmer, which means that ergonomically it should be better, and I can't wait to hold it and feel it in my hands. But you know what? According to me, I feel that the OnePlus 8 Pro should have slightly better ergonomics compared to the OnePlus 7T Pro for sure. Most of OnePlus's marketing efforts this time around, and if you've seen their social media handles, it has been around the display of the OnePlus 8 Pro. And why shouldn't it be? The display is crazy and the specs itself are crazy. on the OnePlus 8 Pro. You get a 6.78-inch flattened panel, which actually when curved is 6.55 inches. Yes, of course, you get a curved panel. And this panel is the fluid AMOLED kind with an aspect ratio of 19.8:9. Now, here's the kicker though. The OnePlus 8 Pro actually comes with a higher refresh rate of 120 Hz and a motion graphics smoothing, or more technically known as MEMC. Now, for those who don't know, MEMC is actually used to upscale the frame rates from your regular 24 FPS, 30 FPS to 60 FPS, 90 FPS or 120 FPS variable according to what the content demands. Now, MEMC is very useful when you're watching content such as football games or live football games, primarily because this motion interpolation will help you cut out any sort of blurring or ghosting. By the way, to keep up with the OnePlus 8 Pro's upgraded refresh rate, OnePlus has also made visual enhancements to 150 animations across Oxygen OS. So that's something I'm definitely interested in checking out as well. Apart from that, you should get your regular support for Widevine L1, and of course there's support for HDR10 Plus as well. Now, one of the very interesting new additions is the fact that the OnePlus 8 Pro comes with HDR Boost, which basically means that you will get enhanced blacks, deeper whites, and visually more attractive colors as well. Having said that, I am more interested in the fact that it actually has a JNCD of 0.4. What this means in layman terms is that the color accuracy is absolutely incredible, which means that even if you're a photographer or a visual creator, you can use the OnePlus 8 Pro's display because it is that color accurate, and that is not something that is common on many phones out there. In comparison to the OnePlus 8 Pro, the OnePlus 8 has a smaller 6.55-inch display, which when curved is actually 6.34 inches in size, and you don't get the fancy 120 Hz refresh rate. You only get a 90 Hz refresh rate and an FHD plus resolution only. And before I forget, on both the phones you do get an in-display fingerprint scanner as well on these displays. Now let's move on to the cameras, and I'm going to start off with the OnePlus 8 this time around. On the triple camera setup, you get a 48 megapixel primary Sony IMX586 sensor, which is the same sensor that was used on the OnePlus 7T as well. And you get a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle camera and a 2 megapixel macro camera this time around. Yes, you don't get a telephoto camera. While I'm going to miss the 2x optical zoom camera from the OnePlus 7T, the macro camera actually uses a better pixel size. It's a 1.75 micron pixel size now. What that means is that when you do go close up to the subject, it should get some crisp details. On the front, you get a 16 megapixel selfie camera as usual, and you also do get dual LED flash and PDAF plus CAF autofocus mechanisms. Now, on the OnePlus 8 Pro, you get a quad camera setup, and leading the pack is the new 48 megapixel Sony IMX689 sensor. Now, what's the difference between the Sony IMX689 and the 586? Well, the 689 is definitely better, and better because it's got higher pixel size. It's got a larger pixel size, which means that by default, it has moved up from the 0.8 micron pixel to a 1.12 micron pixel, which when pixel binned 4:1, it actually will do 2.24 micron pixels of pictures, which means that the resolution and detail should be great, and it also means that the low light performance should be better, at least in theory. And what I am also interested in seeing is that it also gets OIS plus EIS support, which means that even better low light videos as well. And I hope that OIS also works at 4K 60 FPS. So that's something I'm definitely eager and itching to test out. Also, unlike the OnePlus 8, which only has a PDAF and CAF system, this one also comes with laser autofocus, which is the OnePlus 8 Pro, also comes with a laser autofocus mechanism as well. Now, the most interesting new addition is something called a single frame 3 HDR. What this actually does is that now you can shoot an unevenly lit subject and background with high contrast, which will actually cut down the contrast and light it up evenly and make it look very good. Honestly though, I really wish that OnePlus has actually improved the dynamic range performance of pictures, because that was the Achilles heel of the OnePlus 7T Pro's cameras. Now, the other three cameras on the OnePlus 8 Pro include an 8 megapixel telephoto 3x optical zoom lens, which is the same as the OnePlus 7T Pro, a 48 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a 5 megapixel color filter. Now, while the rest of the cameras are self-explanatory, the 5 megapixel color filter is something that is new, and what this does is that it will help you put artistic lighting effects and some other filters as well. This looks interesting and looks like a software-based addition. I will definitely like to test that out for sure. And apart from that, you also get the same 16 megapixel selfie camera that you had on the OnePlus 8 as well. Now, before I move on to the hardware, we all know by now that the software will be Oxygen OS based on Android 10, of course, the latest version of Oxygen OS. Now, hardware-wise, on both the phones, you get Snapdragon 865, 8 or 12 gigs of RAM, and 12 correspondingly 128 or 256 GB of internal storage as well. But the only difference is that the OnePlus 8 Pro gets you LPDDR5 RAM compared to LPDDR4X on the OnePlus 8. Plus, you also get UFS 3.0 storage, which should have been ideally UFS 3.1 if you ask me, but we'll take what we get. Now, as for the batteries, you get a 4300 mAh battery on the OnePlus 8 and a 4510 mAh battery on the OnePlus 8 Pro, which is of course slightly larger now. Now, here's the most important thing. While both the phones do support a Warp Charge 30T, which is 30-watt fast charging using a charger and a cable, the OnePlus 8T Pro actually supports 30-watt wireless charging as well, which is Warp Charge in wireless technology, and that is something that is a new addition to the OnePlus 8 Pro. Another one of OnePlus's biggest declarations this year was that OnePlus is going all out 5G this year, which means that the OnePlus 8 and the 8 Pro are definitely supporting 5G as well. So the X55 modem on the OnePlus 8 and the 8 Pro should be able to do 5G in areas where it is available. But in India, it is not available at the moment, and it might take some time to come, so it doesn't really matter that much. Having said that, the X55 modem can do 4x4 MIMO on LTE, so that is great. And the one advantage that the OnePlus 8 Pro has over the 8 is that it supports Wi-Fi 6 as well. Now, while I was looking at the connectivity options, I was looking for if these phones support Navic. They don't, at least on paper, but it can be added using a software update on the Snapdragon 865 phones, so we'll have to wait and watch if OnePlus will do that. Now, apart from that, the phones also support Bluetooth 5.1 and NFC with support for aptX, aptX HD and LDAC as well. Now, I know that all of you guys are waiting with bated breath for the prices and the availability. Unfortunately, at the time of recording this video, I have no handle on the price, but there are some leaked prices out there. I'm not going to speculate because the range is just a little too much, and it's going to be higher this time around for sure, so I really don't want to speculate at the moment. Having said that, the moment the prices and the availability are out, we shall take it to the comment section. I will put up a pinned comment below. Also, owing to the lockdown, I'm pretty sure that the India availability of the phone is a long time away, so we'll have to wait and watch. So now we're at the end of the video, but it won't be right for me to make any sweeping comments on the phones right now because I haven't used them yet. Having said that, I'm pretty excited about the OnePlus 8 Pro, and the fact that the display has been improved to such an extent and the DisplayMate score itself should be indication enough that the OnePlus 8 Pro might just have the best display on a smartphone yet. And that is something considering the fact that, you know, Samsung always made the best panels, and this time around, while the S20 and the S20 Ultra also have 120Hz refresh rate, they don't do 120Hz refresh rate at full QHD plus resolution, which the OnePlus 8 and the 8 Pro can, which the OnePlus 8 Pro can actually do, and that actually blows my mind as well. And apart from that, the most important thing that I really like about the OnePlus 8 Pro is that despite using the Snapdragon 865 chipset, it is actually slimmer and lighter as well, which was not going to be the case considering the fact that most Snapdragon 865 phones were supposed to be chunkier this year. Not the case with the 8 Pro, and that is a very, very good move on the part of OnePlus. Now, all of this won't matter if the camera performance isn't on the level of, you know, the Pixels or the iPhones or even the Samsungs of the world, that has always been OnePlus's weak point. But you know what, I'm expecting a lot from OnePlus this time around, so let's wait and watch to see if the cameras are at least close to what these phones can achieve. Well, that was my video on a detailed video on the OnePlus 8 and the 8 Pro at launch, so that you guys can have some information. But I'm pretty sure that quite a few international YouTubers have already put reviews out there, so you can definitely go and check those out, because I'm also going to be doing the same, and in the meantime also waiting for the phone as well. Well, I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone. This video was so much fun to do. Until next time, goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.